Hello everyone, this is Saleha, Dr. Saleha Nagmi Habibullah, Professor of Statistics at Canaid College for Women, Lahore, Pakistan. Also, I'm rendering services as Honorary Executive Director of PISTAR, that is the Pak Institute of Statistical Training and Research. As well, I'm very happy to share with you that I'm the country coordinator for Pakistan of the Caucus for Women in Statistics, CWS. Today, it is my proud privilege and pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Rashida Bukhari, who has had a long career in the federal government of Pakistan and who retired as the principal of the training wing of the Federal Bureau of Statistics in 2012. So let me welcome her. Hello, Rashida.
Thank you for having me.
So I would like to request you to first and foremost share with us your educational career, and after that also tell us how you decide and why you decided to enter the federal government and especially the statistical organization.
Well, Saleha, I was born and brought up in Rawalpindi and acquired my education from there from very prestigious institutions, namely Vikarunisa Girls School and College. After having my graduation from there, I joined government college for my master's degree in economics, which was having an optional paper of statistics. My very learned professors of statistics used to tell the whole class rather, that it is not something horrifying. Statistics is is a subject which is just common sense, and in this subject you can have many modules. You can interpret data. You can use it. It is a tool subject, and you can use it anywhere you like. So that paper was having quite some basic concepts of statistics and some advanced as well, like sampling and regression analysis, but basic were central tendency and dispersion, etc. After getting qualified and having my master's degree in economics, I got married. And after getting married, I shifted to Lahore. After coming back to Lahore, I started exploring my natural potential, and I decided to work with some organizations, maybe federal or provincial. I visited a few organizations here in which one or two were relating to economics, but the most vibrating organizations I visited was a statistical setup. That was the thing which motivated me. Was that these were very vibrant organizations. All the time they are conducting censuses and surveys. So I decided to join Agricultural Census Organization, which was the national statistical setup. And when I joined there as an officer, I was the first female officer in that male dominant organization. In the beginning, it was a challenge for me. It was challenge because that was a statistical organization, and I was having a background of those statistics, but there were much more qualified people over there in the organization. It was a big organization of 200 to 300 statistical personnel. So I took it as a challenge. I started competing with in each and every field. My first part of my career was relating to processing of data, capturing data, having field visits to see how they are working in the field and how they are getting data. Then there were so many steps in that one organization, tabulation plan, quality control, and many, many steps. I used to go and work on every station. Then after serving over there for 9 years, I was the first ever woman who was nominated to get a foreign training from Statistical Institute for Asia and Pacific in Tokyo, Japan. It was a sponsored program by JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, and it was a long course for professional statistics. It was somewhere started in 1985 up and went up to 1986, early part of 86. And it was a very enriching experience for me. It was having statistical methods, sampling. It was having demographic statistics, many, many more modules of statistics, and in addition to that, they were having a module of computers as well. At that time, in 1985-86, disk operating system DOS and Lotus 123 and a few small software were taught us over there. After getting that training, when I came back to Pakistan, I was given an additional charge by my seniors to give training to my senior and junior colleagues in computer. It was again not less than a challenge for me. Giving training to your junior is quite easy, but imparting training program to your senior was a quite challenging job. And you know, people were quite afraid of computers at that time. So keeping and bringing someone to come to that computers and telling them how to operate it and how to do, though it was a small software, which is nowadays has been extended to Excel and things like that, but it was the same spreadsheet at that time. But it became my passion, and I started contributing in that computer literacy course. Meanwhile, during this period, it was exactly 1989 when, after the hard work and efforts of my senior pioneering statisticians, the one training institute was established. It was the platform, first ever platform in the federal government, which was meant for the statistical training of those who are starting or the beginners in statistics, on the lines of house job for the doctors or the internship programs for the engineers or other professions. When that was established, I was lucky enough that I was selected as an instructor in that training institute. That was Pakistan Institute of Statistical Training and Research. My enriching experience and background of my training in SIAP was very supportive for me, and I tried to develop modules of training in the newly established training wing or the training institute on the lines I got training from there. This institute was having a very skeleton staff, one principal, 2 instructors, and 1 admin officer. Very skeleton. They started with that skeleton staff. Yet it was meant to train the statistical personnel of each level, maybe the junior or the senior, from federal, from provincial, both, and from autonomous bodies and from other corporations as well. my period in that institute was very wholesome, and I learnt a lot. Uh, each day of my career was a learning experience, because there used to come the statistical personnel from far-flung areas like northern areas like Kashmir, like Balochistan, where the computer literacy and otherwise computer literacy and even statistical literacy was not very good. So we planned and developed the modules of training courses in a way that each and every training course was having a small module of computer, so that each and every person who is coming to join any course over here should at least equipped with the little bit of knowledge of computers. And I was trying to impart computer literacy program in those modules. Here, I started feeling that a sense of givingness, which is always always a very good feeling. You being a professor can very well understand when you give something to someone who do not have that. That is a very good feeling. I started having a spiritual satisfaction out of that I am trying to impart education, computer literacy to those people who were having machine horror, who were afraid of touching even the computers. We were lucky enough that World Bank donated us a computer lab equipped with 12 computers, IBM computers, and Epson printers, along with the software, original software, which was very expensive, and government was not in a position to afford all those expenditure. World Bank assisted us to establish that lab, and that became an asset for us. We kept on training, imparting training to the personnel working in the federal capital, working in various departments of different organizations. That's how I translated my theoretical knowledge to practical knowledge. And that was my journey from theory to practice.
Thank you very much for this detailed exposing us to all of this. I would like to ask you, you said that you were the first woman in the agriculture census organization when you joined it. So maybe that might have happened, that might have been the case for a number of years. I would like you to tell us when exactly, if you can recall, did you have other female colleagues coming in? And prior to that, all those years when you were the only one woman, did you have some challenges, meaning that your colleagues, were they accepting you? That's one part of the question. Another part is, what about your own home? Did you have a lot of support from your own home, your husband, your family? Another question is that along with the challenges, just now you shared with us how much satisfaction you had when you were teaching them. Otherwise, what are the other best things in your professional career?
Well, I was having a full support from my family, in-laws, and my husband as well, because after getting married, you are a woman with 24/7. You don't have any other way out. You are supposed to work around the clock and 7 days a week. You cannot live without that. Though it was very hard working experience for me. I used to work round the clock almost, because when you come back, you are having children waiting for you to come. And again, when you are in a male dominant organization and you are the only female officer, you have many challenges. Like in the beginning, all my colleagues were keeping distance from me. They were not settling down, or I was not settling down with them. But because I was in minority, I used to become closer to them, sitting with them, asking them questions, telling them something which I know, which I wanted to share with them. It took quite a bit of time, but after a while I started thinking that it is a give and take sort of exercise. You have to have your own place by your hard work, by assisting those colleagues who need something from you, and after accommodating them, you can have good time with them as well. So little bit of problems, like they were not used to work with any female. It was cumbersome for them. It was difficult for them to immediately accept me. So I used to feel sometimes that they want me to leave this place. They used to tell me or suggest me many times, "Madam, you can have very good place in some other organization, in some university. You can go there. You can have your place over there." They used to tell me many things like that. But after a while, when I became an instructor in the training wing, in the training institute, I started realizing that now I'm becoming a popular officer over there. That was perhaps with the passage of time that made me feel like that. I was having full support from my family, from my husband, and the environment was very conducive. I was having domestic helper with me after coming back from office. I used to get quite good help from my helpers. Yet, when you are in an organization where you are an only female officer or an only officer, one was the subject hurdle, the other was my gender. So both of these were coming closer to each other and were, by the passage of time, getting exhausted. I started feeling as a male officer with my male colleagues. I never think that the other person sitting beside me is a male or I am a female. With that feeling, I started becoming a part of them. And after getting very enriched experiences from my trainings, from attending workshops, I started feeling that I am not less than them even in the subject, relevant subject, that was statistics. With my hard work and my commitment, I was given a chance to coordinate many international level workshops, many seminars and training courses, international level training courses in the training wing. And that was like international level workshops were CENTS. CENTS stand for Census Tabulation Workshop, and then CONCOR, that was on consistency and correction package. That was, both of them was from USAID. And then one was Entry Point 90, that was also a package which was from USA, some corporation, DataLex Corporation from USA. Then UNICEF, UNFPA, and World Bank, so many workshops and seminars with the assistance and sponsorship of these international agencies. Conducting those workshops, seminars, and training courses was very enriching experience. And some of these one was in Tokyo, one workshop which I attended, that was also a very learning experience for me. as I have already told, that each single day of my professional career was a learning experience for me. So, Saleha, I would like to share one more thing, which was, you know, when we say sometimes that a very small step in right in time is a very paying step, and perhaps each long journey start with a single step towards that journey. One was that when I was in the training institute, uh, Kennett College, statistics department, you may call back
Yes.
that some internees came to us, and it was no one else but you who were the propelling force behind that. That was first and the last, perhaps maybe one, maybe the first in my career, that was the first and the last college who was getting benefit from this rich organization, which was having, it was a very vibrating organization, and for those students of statistics, they can learn a lot. But unfortunately, very few were able to benefit from that, except that of the Kennett College Statistics Department under you. That sort of internship programs are badly needed, and our students can compete only in the practical field when, if they have some internship program before joining some professional career in statistics. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for remembering that. It was a great experience, and I'm happy to share with you that it is continuing to this day.
Yeah.
We, as you will recall, after that first one, we then signed an agreement with the statistics division, under which it was going to happen every year for 5 years. But then after 5 years, or almost when the 5 years were over, we renewed that. So we keep renewing the agreement, and it's still going on.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
And I totally agree. The purpose why I wanted this was that, you know, in our colleges and universities, otherwise we are very much quite distant from what is actually happening in the field, how real data collection is being done by all the national and provincial statistical offices. So when we did that, through that, our students are able to learn how it happens. And you are very right that all other colleges and universities should also be doing it. And now that it is so easy to do things online, I would like to suggest that the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics Training Wing should organize it in such a way that it should be attended by not just the students who are there, but other students also, through the video conferencing or the online way of doing it. My last question to you would be, based on your rich experience of your professional career, what would be your recommendations for the people who are currently in the field? What message would you like to give to them, how they can serve the country better?
Thank you. Thank you. Sonia, before I give some recommendation to the serving personnel, I would like to share one or two more achievement. One was that, as I was telling you, that being a female officer, in the beginning I faced a few problems. You can call it teething issues. Yet, what I call my achievement in that scenario was that even though I was a female officer, I was given, I'll go back and tell you a little bit about Federal Bureau of Statistics. It was being a statistical organization and data gathering and processing organization. Conducting surveys and censuses was its main job. They were having 34 regional and field offices all over the country. And it was during 1990 onward when I was made in charge of 17 offices, say 17 regional and field offices of Federal Bureau of Statistics, that was starting from northern area up till Punjab, south of Punjab, that was Rahim Yar Khan, Gilgit to Rahim Yar Khan. I was given the charge of that field services, which used to, I was very happy on that, and which used to be sound as a very great achievement. Okay, being a female officer, you have been made in charge of the whole, maybe more than 600-700 people, administrative, technical, and financial, supervising them administratively, financially, and technically. And other achievement which I want to share here with you is that I was nominated for the mandatory training course in Pakistan Administrative Staff College for getting my higher position. That was the last meritorious position. I was getting that training over there. And during my training, I was offered a faculty position from there, which was very, it's some sense of achievement for me that they are offering me faculty position in their organization, which was altogether different than mine. Yet, it was a very enriching experience over there, and I stayed there for 5 years, and I worked very hard to show that I can conduct this type of trainings, and those training modules were for very senior officers of grade 20 and 21. And I stayed there for almost 5 years, and on my training, on my promotion to the next higher grade, I came back to my training institute. That I wanted to share with you. And coming to your question about the recommendations, I think I first of all will recommend some training courses and some sort of research work for those who are working in statistical departments. They must be given some research experience, so that because they are having data bank with them, they can get different data from there and can conduct small researches with the help of research institutes, like you are having your research training in research institute, and with the affiliation with these two, they can get very good knowledge of research, and they can conduct some more fruitful results from there. Then HR development is needed for the professional working over there, and they need different sorts of training, and for that purpose they can be nominated to foreign training courses, which always prove a very enriching experience. And then one more recommendation will be the improvement of professional ethics in all the institutes or in all the organizations. Professional ethics and some sort of anti-women feeling should be, there must be some sort of training which give them anti-women mind, which their mind may be uh,
More accepting of women.
accepting of women, and the feeling of anti-women should not be there, and they must be given chance to get mixed up with the women, and more women should be recruited in the organization so that they must become used to them. Even after serving over there for 36 years, I find very few women coming into that service. Though in the last part, maybe last 10 years, in the Federal Bureau of Statistics, there were many women were entering, and which was a very good sign. I used to give them a very good sort of backup call, because you can exist over here. Look here, I am coming to the last meritorious position. Now you are supposed to get these positions over here. So that was a good change. And with that, I think quite a bit things are happening, good things are getting over there, yet a lot to be done. And you can always have put in something to get something good.
Thank you so much, Rajda. This was just wonderful. What I can say is, I'm sure everybody will agree that hers has been a journey of a brave girl, of a brave woman, and one who all her life she was passionate about what she was required to do, and her all the time wanting to improve further and doing it, as I said, very bravely. This has been great. And just one more thing, now that you have been retired for the past few years, do you miss your daily routine that you had for 36 years? What are you feeling now?
Yes. When you become, when you come out of some job or some assignment as a successful player, you always miss it. And I started missing my different places of job. I was doing this, I was doing that. Even now, my junior colleagues come to me for getting some counseling, and I like that very much. And I always give them advice for how to come up with positive things. Never think of anything negative. And Salia, I would like to give my appreciation to your effort as a country coordinator of CWS, and their generosity for assigning this type of interviews or exercises for getting something good to present to others.
Right, you're so right. Thank you very much, Rajda, and thank you very much, all my dear colleagues, for being here and to listen to all that wonderful life history of hers that Rajda had to share with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.